look at that of riot police moving into that crowd right now. Let's go live to our Diana Magne, who's standing by in Athens following this. Diana, you have followed a number of these, so give us some sense of how this is different and whether it's bigger and what's happening on the streets behind you.
Hi, Ali. Well, it's always so difficult to gauge the numbers. I would say that the turnout here has been really very large. I was here in May 2010 when the first bailout was struck, and in June this year when the second bailout was struck. And certainly in comparison to the turnout in June, this is significant. The organisers say 120,000 people on the streets of Athens. And as you say, as you can see from those live pictures, as you can hear from behind me, there is a degree of violence which is basically concentrated in a pocket of the square right beside the Parliament building. And this kind of violence we've seen at these protests before, and certainly in June this year, it was violence on a grand scale across this square, which went on for hours and hours and hours. What you see is protesters, people dressed generally in sort of black, who are prepared to fight against the riot police, generally throwing rocks, sticks, Molotov cocktails, the police responding with stun grenades, with these flashbangs that make that huge noise that you will have just heard behind me, and then firing tear gas into the crowds. So we've seen the start of this about an hour ago of the first bangs really echoing around this square. And from past experience, I would imagine, Ali, that is likely to go on for quite a while to come. And this is the first day of a two-day strike, Ali.
Diana, is there some sense that what Parliament is going to do, what they're going to pass, these further austerity measures that are absolutely necessary for Greece to continue to get the funding, the emergency funding it needs, and to stave off other problems in Euro? Is it clear that that is going to go through, or could this amount of protesting actually change things?
Well, the expectation is that this will go through, really, because the government doesn't have any other choice, and because the opposition really expect that. It will be quite a small majority that George Papandreou will have, but it is expected to pass. Nevertheless, people down on the street say, irrespective of whether these new rounds of austerity measures go through, we are going to resist it until the very last. And the question is, how far do you push a people before they break? Really, since the last time I was here, you are beginning to see slight rifts in the fabric of society, in that there is garbage piling up on the streets now because the municipal workers are refusing to work. There are sit-ins in the government ministries and in public buildings. People taking their decision to work or not work really into their own hands. So even the finance minister has been complaining about the breakdown in order, the fact that he can't even access his finance ministry to discuss the country's financial affairs with Troika officials. So you are beginning to see cracks in this society, and how socially acceptable will increased austerity really be to these people? These people say it is not anymore, but there is still fat to cut, especially within the public sector. And I think what you hear from the workers on the streets is the rich stay rich, and we are not seeing real steps being taken against corruption or against tax evaders, while we, the poor workers, are being squeezed out of existence, Ali.
And when you look, Diana and Ali, at these pictures in the streets and you see how angry people are, rank and file people are, it's because when a government makes promises, or at least there are assumptions about a standard of living, and then reality changes, and you've lived beyond your means for so long, and you have to change those assumptions about what the standard of living will be of your people. People don't like it. And this is why sovereign debt crises and why the whole debt situation around the world is so incredibly important for lots of different governments, not just what's happening in Greece. Greece is the extreme example, I think, right? But this is essentially what it is, a country that's been living without beyond its means for a very long time, Diana, and now they have to get back to live within their means, and it's going to hurt for a lot of people.
Exactly, it's going to hurt. It's going to meet the social benefits that they became used to, that generous pension systems that they became used to are going to have to change. And many people aren't prepared for those kinds of changes right now. But as you say, with the changing demographic, not just in Greece, but across Europe, with the fact that there are bloated public sectors in many of these countries, with the fact that people have got used to a certain standard of living, and it is going to be a horrific jolt for many people to have to adjust to that with the economic conditions in Europe so difficult as they are going forward.
Diana Magnay in Athens.
And you're seeing more of those flashbangs that she's talking about. I don't know if you've seen any tear gas wafting up to you, but there's definitely the violence does look to be intensifying, although from our shot it seems to be in a, as Diana says, a concentrated